Welcome everyone to Second Life Travels once again. Today we are here at Elven Isles, a place that seems to be for community, fantasy style, and it seems to be a place for people to live at as well, as we'll see with various cottages about the sim. And it looks like they also have a few places to also buy things about. They seem to have a couple of marketplace type things going on, just from what I've looked about. This place has been sitting in my landmarks to do for quite some time, so it's definitely been around for a while, and it looks like they actually have quite a few homes. I'm assuming those are all skyboxes up there. So we'll mostly just be staying on the ground here, but there's definitely plenty to look at around, so we won't have any issues. Oh, look, a lion. That's neat. But yes, we definitely have what appears to be a fantasy-type forest going on here. We have things like fays, animals, things like that. I didn't actually see any elves around, which is a bit unfortunate, but there is definitely fantasy type things going on here. This looks almost like a Stargate type thing, but I don't know if it is. Might just be for show, but it does kind of look like one of those teleporter type things. And we have a nice little dinner set out here. It looks like a prop for Valentine's Day, perhaps. As when I'm doing this, it's just about February now, so. And there is the yard sale over there. Like I said, there was a couple of market-type places going on. So let's go ahead and take a look over here. I see some fish floating around in the river there, kind of above it. But it is a fantasy forest, so you never know what you'll find. See a deer with a sweater up there. And plenty of birds in the water. Looks like swans or geese or along those lines. Even a mermaid. And a narwhal that's doing magic. That's definitely a new one. But as we look around the ponds, we see more. We see a duck with a bunch of ducklings behind it. We also get some deer. Baby deer. You also move their heads around. I do tend to see deer that have animations more so now than before. They used to be really static, but the last couple of years they definitely seem to have made props more animated than they once were. We got something here. Let's see what's going on. Looks like we have some quotes here. And judging by this picture over here, it seems to be maybe quotes from The Princess and the Bride. Which is actually a really good movie, I have to say. I watched it again after not watching it since, I don't know, like middle school or something like that, and it holds up very well. I'm not sure exactly what time period it was made in, maybe, I don't know if it was 90s or maybe 2000s. Got a few little frame hiccups here, but you can also see from the mini-map that there are definitely various little spots here for rent. This is one of them, and since the area here is for rent and not actually in use, we can go ahead and take a look inside. Now what I've seen from a couple of these is I think they're refurbished like this, and if so, they actually look really nice. It's either that or somebody once lived here and they left everything here, but I don't think that's the case. This is... because I've seen a couple of cottages here that are all furbished like this, so I think it's a prefurbishing. But even just this first one we found is like a really nice styling, and they're all like that. At least the ones that are open. The ones that are private I won't be going into. But yeah, this isn't bad for 300 a week for 100 prims. Like, even if you didn't have the... If you didn't have to use the prims, it's still really nicely furbished to live in already. Nice little wooden bridge. We got some dogs here, too. I thought they were Dalmatians at first because of the shadows, but they seem to be pure white. Got a nice little wagon like this. I always wondered how something like this would work. I would imagine you'd have to have like some sort of like tent-ish front to it to be able to cover it for rain. Because everything in here in the back should be okay, but if you have rain and the wind puts it to being able to get inside, you definitely would want some sort of covering for the front. We got a nice little statue here. Looks like it doubles as a donation jar. I'm not actually sure how old the Elven Isles is. I know I've had this landmark for a couple of years now. We've got another for rent spot here, and as I was saying before, they are really nice stylings for rooms in here. This one is 125 per week for 40 prims. They do seem to change quite a bit, so I'm not sure exactly if there's a particular reason for that or not. But we do have some little off-sim islands here as well. This one I think I actually like the most so far that I've seen. I think it's probably because of the all red theming with the... I guess it's a white and red theming for the most part. Nice little off-sim island there with a little castle on it. Or maybe it's just kind of like a tower. I think it's like a mini castle, I guess. And here we come across our first rented out one, which is obviously closed off to us, so we'll go ahead and continue on. From what I've noticed from my walk around here before starting to record, it seems like the ones closer to the entrance all are for rent, but as we get further along, pretty much all of them are going to be rented out. And I did wonder about that. I kind of wondered maybe if maybe there is an issue with people just randomly coming up to people's houses. That might explain why there's such a exodus from like towards the entrance, and then everywhere else it's definitely rented out. But well, we got some sort of like, I'm assuming like spellstone perhaps? But we got to see the backs of the places we were just at. Another rented spot. This one's actually a treehouse, I believe. Yep. They do also have tree houses. They do have a teleporting system in certain spots, and I've seen quite a few of them around, so I think most of them are on the ground. But I want to just continue wandering around on the ground without teleporting around. If I have to, I'll probably check them towards the end of my tour here, but I think for the most part we can just kind of stumble along everything that we can. Oh, we got little ferrets here. Nice. We also have this nice little pavilion here with a nice little leaves, or petals, I guess they would be, and little glowy bits about. It's a very sparkly wine bottle, or alcohol bottle. I'm not sure if that's actually wine or not, but this place does definitely seem like the type to be for a lot of celebration. Sheep! And then we have another for rent spot over there, I believe. And we got some more geese, it looks like. Or swans. There are a couple boats around that I think are for being able to like, circle around the island. I don't think that boat's one of them, but there are ones that I think that can be controlled. We have another spot here that's 300 per week. This one actually seems a little bit bigger than the other ones. It does look nice though. And I think this will be one of the last ones we find that's unrented, I think. But honestly, I'm surprised that a place that looks this good is unrented. Because this honestly looks amazing for one room. And then we have a really nice looking pond area here, or maybe you call it like a marsh perhaps. I am having a few frame hiccups, though that is usually very common in forest-type sims. I do like that cake there, that looks really nice. Mini cake floating in the air. Do you like that bench? I like the swan work on it. But yeah, definitely a couple places here that look really nice. Got the bird sitting on top of the lily pads there. There's actually one of the boats I was talking about right there, the one with the sail over there. And this is one of those like swampy type trees that have the glowing moss on it. So I guess I would kind of call this area marsh. We also have this, I want to call it maybe a fairy circle? I think fairy circles are usually what's called mushrooms in a circle or something along those lines, toadstools in a circle. Supposedly places like that are more magical, I think. We also get horses. So we got ship horses and also a teleporting system. So they really have everything covered that you could potentially need for here. If you want to just fast travel everywhere, you can use the teleporter, but if you actually want to wander about, then boat or horse are available, which is nice. This place is definitely for unrent. Looks like they don't actually have an actual entrance. So we'll go ahead and just leave that alone. We got a squirrel, it looks like, that's setting up, like, decorations, it looks like. Nice little birdie here, just kind of hanging out on the bird bath. Then we end up in this little, like, village type area, which is pretty nice. Looks kind of jungle-ish, I guess. I don't know if that's like some sort of bread or if that's some sort of like nut pile there. Can't quite tell. We got another spot that is, as I was saying before, a lot of these spots are rented out, but for whatever reason I did take notice of the fact that most of the ones towards the entrance were not. Kind of like an occult table there. But yeah, I do like a lot of the spots they've made for this, especially with just the simple landscaping of it. Like, there's nothing too fancy about the pond here, but it's such a nicely detailed thing with the lily pads and ducks in it that... Alright, we got another house up here. I'm pretty sure this is another one that's already rented. Yep, that definitely looks like it. Yeah, I always have to sort of, like... I always have to think to myself if a place particularly works or not for being recorded in regards to it being like a renting place. And when a place like this has a lot of extra stuff going on with it as a whole community type sim, obviously this is a fantasy community type sim, then it's definitely worth it to come and take a look at it. But you do have to kind of weigh that option. Well, that's a nice little seating arrangement there. You do have to kind of weigh that option of whether the fact that you won't be able to get into every place on the sim is going to be too much of a deterrent, and it definitely is not here. This place is really nicely done with all the detailing for the fantasy element of it. Like right here we have a carousel filled with obviously fantasy type animals, which are Pegasi. But there's also trails all over with a nice little forest set up here. Another boat down there. You could probably ride that entire creek down there all the way through. It looks like they're setting up another sail spot here, I think. Though this one appears to be under construction from how it looks. But I think now we're more towards the center of the sim, I think. We have this nice fountain along with a plentiful of flowers and mushrooms about, and a couple of critters about as well. I do like the detail of the fact that the stump is actually growing mushrooms and flowers on it. Which, I don't know about flowers, but mushrooms would grow on a stump, so... And I'm thinking the environment settings are set to just day-night cycle, as I think it's starting to get darker as I go through here. I think it's getting towards sunset. I don't know if this place is actually a private home or not, because there's no actual sign that says it one way or another. It seems to be a very big spot, though. I guess I'll probably just go on the safe bet and assume it's a house for somebody. Maybe it's the sim owner's house. Oh, it looks like we have a chest locked away. Wonder where we could find the key for the bars. Or maybe there's a switch. Gotta think of it as a fantasy quest. Got a nice little spot here. There's definitely some nice photogenic spots here, definitely. And I think we're back towards the marshy pond over here. That's a nice seat right there. I don't think I've seen one that has like the glowing branches all over it like this. So this is definitely new. We got some more deer. But yeah, we definitely have to look around for different paths, because there are paths going everywhere. And it's definitely possible to miss things if you're not paying attention, because you can definitely miss out on something. Like this view, this is a really nice tree set up here with the lights on it and everything. Like, this would actually make a really good snapshot. Yeah, I do like the fact that they have the ship spawn right there that can go through this little creek area. So that means they definitely thought out the time of being able to take ships through different parts of the sim like that. Because I think this river creek thing goes through the entire sim from ocean to ocean, I assume. Kangaroo crossing. Here's more of a typical fairy circle right there of the circle of mushrooms. Pretty sure that would be considered a fairy circle. And this is pretty neat here. We got a actual setup of a model tray and a pot, and they actually have like the painting of it set up right next to it. I wonder if somebody actually made that painting, or if it was just made by Okay, we got another spot that's rented out here. I do like the swamp shack type of thing going on there. But yeah, I was wondering if maybe that was actually painted by somebody here at the sim, or if that was something that's bought off the marketplace. Could be either one. Oh, we got some gnomes. Can't say I saw these anywhere else. On the sim, I mean. We actually have a full-on, like, treehouse setup here. I wonder if these are... Okay, I think this is a house right here, but I don't see on the treehouses if they're rented out or not. I might have to cam up there, because there's no flying on this sim. Yeah, I think I'll have to cam. I think that one might be... I think they are rented, but I think that one over to the right is unrented, so... Might be interesting to take a look at one of these. Okay, yeah, the one on the left is rented out, the one on the right is not, so let's go ahead and take a look at the unrented one. And yeah, it does have a nice little room design going on in here as well. The whole treehouse aesthetic going on. I do not know if I would trust a fireplace in a treehouse, but... Oh, the horse is here. I didn't even see the horse here before. Yeah, you can definitely see islands up in the sky, and there's a lot of them. And I'm assuming those are rentals as well. So I'm not even going to... I actually have the meter distance set to full draw. Like over 1,000 or whatever it is. So I'm seeing quite a bit what's in the sky at the moment. That's a nice little glowy thing there. Looks like we're heading up a mountainside, I guess. Oh, it looks like we've reached an altar of some sort. And there's some sort of structure up there. I can't quite tell what it is. Or it might not be a structure, it might be something else I'm thinking of. Yeah, okay, let's go ahead and cam on this and see if we can't take a better look at that, because I'm thinking that's not a structure, that might be an animal type. But this altar is pretty nice too. You can see all the different books, the little pedestal thing on the left that looks like it's maybe crystals, and you even have a crystal ball in the center. So I guess maybe the community comes here and does some sort of ritual thing. Oh, we got a nice waterfall going on here too. And yeah, it looks like it's actually a dragon from what I can tell. It's styled differently from what I would usually see what a dragon is, but I think it's a dragon. Like maybe it's a clockwork dragon or a steamwork dragon type thing. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Because its wing looked like it had a gear in it. Alright, now we're going to have to backtrack a little bit. And we'll find another path to go through. Which I think will be this bridge. Got a nice little rabbit there. Guess they must be contemplating whether to cross over the bridge or not. We got some nice little golden spiderweb type things. And we'll head this way, I think. Or actually, I think we may have been that way already. So let me go ahead and take a look over here. And we see some more off-sim islands over there. Or at least one island. Oh, it looks like we found like a full-on market square over here. They always love little off-sim stuff like this. It always gives Sims more flavor if they use the off-sim type things. So it's not just endless ocean. Not quite seeing a proper way in there yet. It might be on the edge by the ocean, perhaps. Which means there should be a proper path down that way, I assume. And we found another altar type thing, it looks like.
Well, being me has its privileges.
Looks like we found a wizard.
Now, in my day, magic was much more commonplace. Oh well.
But yeah, I'm thinking there's a path over this way that must lead to, And that path is obviously one we haven't taken yet, so I'm kind of trying to find exactly where it is. I do see a dragon down there. We got some ruins, it looks like, overlooking the market square. I do actually like the styling of this. That looks actually really nice. Yeah, we'll go ahead and peek inside if you're... It's, I'm not too interested in marketplaces, so I won't stay too long, but definitely looks like they're setting something up here. That is a lot of text. Yeah, it looks nice. But yeah, it looks like the sun is almost completely set on the sim already. Actually, I think it's a dragon rider, so there's even a dragon you can ride around here, it looks like. Oh, we got some fae over here. Looks like they're just kind of hanging out. Yeah, it looks like a lot more of the glowy stuff is a bit more prominent now that the sim is getting darker from night falling. And this area is absolutely glowing now, it seems like. We're actually right back to the beginning where we started. But I'm pretty sure there's a bit more to take a look at around here. Oh, we got like a little wooden throne here, maybe for like the tinies. Looks like a tiny's throne, perhaps. Let's see, we got a road over here, and then we have a pathway over there. I think this one... Okay. So I did find a spot over here that we hadn't gone down. We actually missed this path completely when we went up the stairs that we just saw to the right. Which, as you look at here, I'll show you exactly which stairs it was. It was the ones leading up to this mountain altar type place. But yeah, there actually is a full-on pathway back this way, and it leads to a little area of the sim that you completely miss if you don't go take this path, so definitely worth taking a look at it. So we have this nice little display of, like, magic platforms overlooking this giant statue, which is pretty neat. Yeah, statue and waterfall. Looks like the waterfall is like in a very naturey style of where it's like a tower of rocks. So it is pretty neat to see. And then we have this little corner here. It looks like another maybe Fey folk or along those lines are sitting there. Nice little spot, as many of them have been, to just kind of lounge around at. And then we have this nice little waterfall here as well. There's actually a door behind the waterfall. And unfortunately it's locked, so I don't know what's going on back there. But I thought it was funny that I just happened to think there's probably a secret behind the waterfall, and then there happens to be a door there. Nice little garden spot here, it looks like. Here's a similar spot we saw before, but we also have a butler here this time. Looks like the dinner has not been set out yet, but the drink has definitely been. There's the butler. And we'll head upwards once again. This will lead us to a rather interesting looking area up here. And we also have a pathway heading out this way, but it's actually towards one I believe we've gone down already. That we could have taken that path up to this way if we had seen it properly. As I was saying before, this place definitely has many multi-pathways going on. And if you aren't exploring particularly well, then you're going to miss some areas. Like, we almost missed this entire thing if I had not backtracked to make sure to look through the teleport list. And this is like a giant dance hall type of thing. Which I was kind of wondering if there was going to be one, because it seems like it would make sense for one to be here. And thankfully they made a really nice one, I have to say. And we have a full-on like party set of food out too. Along with the butler with the party hat on. So this is obviously like a celebration hall, I assume. Doesn't look like I can text refresh this properly, so hopefully this will actually just kind of come in on its own. And it looks like we have a throne here, too. And the more curious thing that I noticed off to the side here is that there's actually what appears to be a secret passage. And when you click on it, it actually makes the entire wall there disappear before your eyes, which is a really neat effect. And there is a cellar down there that goes somewhere. But yeah, it all looks really nice. Looks like it's a picture of a fae, perhaps another player. Got the moss-covered piano. And I guess they have some sort of treasure hunt thing going on here too, which I hadn't heard anything about. Let's see. Down here we have a portrait along the wall. And what looks to be perhaps a bedroom. I think this might actually be a... wasn't labeled as a home, but perhaps it is, so I think perhaps we'll go ahead and just leave this alone. Though I do love the purple furniture. Alright, yeah, I think that's probably... maybe it's the sim owner's home or something along those lines. It wasn't labeled as a home, but since it's in like what appears to be like a royal place with the throne and everything, maybe it's just sort of expected to be that way. In that case, I hope you guys enjoyed Elven Isles. And if you guys want to take a look at the place yourself, you're more than welcome. So, see you guys next time.